My name is Vince Emanuele,
Yes.
and I'm an Iraq veteran. I served with the United States Marine Corps from 2002 to 2006.
How many?
I was in Iraq in March of 2003 and then again in April of 2004.
What did you do in Iraq?
I was in the infantry. Mostly consisted of patrolling the streets, setting up vehicle checkpoints where we'd check cars for vehicle bombs. We'd go on raids, so we'd raid houses. We'd check the houses and the local population for weapons caches.
It was particularly dangerous?
Excuse me?
It was dangerous?
Yes.
This kind of mission?
Oh, definitely. I mean, anytime that you leave your main base, which is not safe itself, I mean, the main bases that we have get mortared continually. You know, we get mortar fire all the time. But particularly on the streets, everywhere we went, it was so hostile that we couldn't even talk to we couldn't talk to the local population because they were far too hostile to talk to.
Yes.
So it was frustrating because you want to go over there and, you know, you want to talk and communicate with the locals and try and help them out, but we just weren't in a position to do that.
It was impossible?
It was, I mean, you know, there's innocent people getting killed, there's, you know, we're destroying innocent property, and so it's really hard to, you know, tell those people or to get the point across, to tell the Iraqi people, you know, that, you know, we either didn't mean to blow this up or we did mean to blow this up, but we're sorry that this person's dead. You know, it's a no-win situation.
Yes.
And, you know, in the time that I was over there, I can only imagine how many enemies we created through the actions that we were...
Before the war, why did you enroll yourself in the army?
I enrolled, it was after 9/11, and I felt the patriotic duty to, you know, join the military and defend my country. And, you know, on top of that, I come from a middle, low-class family, and so I didn't have money for college, I didn't have money for those type of things, and I saw that there was good educational and health benefits going into the military, so that was a large part to do with it.
But you were a real patriot at this time.
Oh, definitely. I mean, I signed up to defend my country.
Yes.
You know, and a lot of the guys I was with were there specifically to defend their country. You know, a lot of them joined out of what happened, the events that happened on 9/11, and a lot of people joined specifically for that reason. Yes. You know, a lot of guys thought that they were going to end up going to Afghanistan, but, you know, and then we end up in Iraq, and, you know, it didn't make sense to a lot of people because that's not where we were originally going to, you know, to fight the terrorists.
Yes.
And then we find out that there's no weapons of mass destruction. We find out that there are no ties between Saddam and Al-Qaeda. We find out that Iraq posed no threat to the United States. You know, and these things came out over the years.
Yes.
You know, now we're sitting here 5 years later, and they're talking about continuing this war. And, you know, both the Democrats and the Republicans want to keep troops in the country of Iraq. And, you know, the fundamental problem with that is that our politicians in this country don't understand that the source of the violence, a large portion of the source of the violence in Iraq is directly attributed to our occupying that country. So, you know, it's hard to get that point across, but that's what we need to start doing. We need to immediately withdraw our troops, and we need to help the Iraqi people rebuild their country, and we need to make sure that we take care of veterans when they come back home to the United States. We better make sure that we take care of them and their families.
All this war was wrong. Since the beginning of the war, the government of the United States was wrong.
Oh, yes.
Yes?
Yeah, I mean, there was no reason for us ever to go to Iraq.
Yes.
So that's the most frustrating part, is knowing that it was a mistake from the beginning, and then to be still sitting here 5 years later discussing this same mistake, you know, it's heartbreaking. I mean, we have behind us, you know, we got 136 boots out here, and there's 136 families just in the state of Indiana that are going to be missing a loved one now, and everybody needs to ask themselves the question, for what? You know, what was this for? You know, and our ability to remember these names, remember these people, remember the sacrifices they made, you know, that will be paramount to us preventing another war like this happening. You know, the more we forget about these people who died and we just write them off as a number, you know, and we don't hold their memory, and that's what this is all about. This is to draw attention to the life and the sacrifice that was made.
Do you remember when your mind has changed about that?
Yeah. When I was over in Iraq, like I was saying, we didn't have a chance. We were told that we were going to go over there to win the hearts and minds of people, and that just wasn't the case. I mean, you don't win the hearts and minds of a population by pointing a gun in their face.
Yes.
And so by going over there, witnessing this firsthand, seeing that we weren't helping the Iraqi people, seeing that we're causing much more death and destruction than we were positive things, I came back with a sense of, what is this for and what are we doing? What are the consequences going to be from this? Because now, 30 years from now, there's millions of Iraqis that have been directly affected by the actions that the United States has taken. These people aren't going to forget about those type of things. And then this is going to come around full circle once again. We'll get a terrorist attack will happen in this country again. It's going to happen. I mean, there's no doubt about it. And everybody's going to be standing around going, well, why?
Yes.
Just like 9/11. 9/11 happened, and everybody was standing around going, well, why would anyone want to do this to us? Because they don't understand what it is that our military does in these other countries that creates these enemies.
And what do you think they don't understand? Because perhaps you feel a little alone in this.
No, definitely. There's a large misconception about what the United States military does. And the United States military is not built to build democracies. The United States military is built to kill and destroy things. That's that is their main purpose. So when you send the United States military to do something, a humanitarian mission, it's not feasible because that's simply not what the United States military is trained to do. And it was that's the misconception that people have. They hold this image in their head of our soldiers being overseas and like handing out food and talking with the local population, and that just simply was not the case from where I was and where I served. We weren't doing those type of things.
Now you have definitively resigned from the army, or you can go again? No,
I can't go again. No, I'm done.
What is your life now?
I am an activist. So I'm an organizer. I organize veterans for the Iraq Veterans Against the War. It's a national organization made up of over 1,000 veterans in every state in the United States, and we have bases overseas in Germany and in Iraq, in Canada, and we're a group of veterans who have come together to protest the war and to speak out and to fight for veterans' benefits.
There's a long time you are an activist?
I've been an activist now for about 1.5 years.
A year and a half, yes.
So as soon as I got out of the Marine Corps, I started speaking out against the war, and since then, that's what I've been doing.
It's a big investment because you don't win a lot of money with your activity.
Oh, no, definitely. It's I don't get paid to do it, but that's all right. It's the best part about it is the ability to take a very negative experience in my life and to turn it into something positive. And to prevent people who are my age, 18, 19 years old, from having to go off to war for no reason. If I could prevent that from happening, then I feel like I'm